Sundarakanda, English. Sa Suryaya Mahendraya Pavanaya Swayambhuve Bhutebhyaschanjalim Krutva Chakaragamane Matim. Hanuman bowed to the sun, Indra, Brahma, and the Panchabhutas, the five elements, to go to the other side of the sea. He turned towards east and bowed down to his father Vayudeva, the wind god. To go towards south, the committed Hanuman expanded his body like Garutmanta, the vulture king. The Mainaka mountain was pleased and took the human form. He told Hanuman, who was in flight, the ancestors of Sri Rama respected the sea. You walk in their footsteps. So Samudra, the sea, bows to you. Krutecha pratikartam yamesha dharma sanatanaha soyam tat pratikarardhi tvattah samanamarhati. It is our duty to reciprocate the favor according to the Sanatana Dharma. With the same principle, accept the favor of the sea. Atidhi kila pujarha prakrutopi vijanata dharmam jignasamanena kim punaryadrusho bhavan. Even an ordinary guest is certainly respected by learned scholars. There is no special mention required for you as a guest who is extraordinary and valorous. Hanuman responded, O Mainaka, I am very happy to meet you and receive your hospitality. Let go of your worries about hospitality. I have to go quickly. I vote not to stop anywhere on the way. Smilingly, Hanuman touched Mainaka's hand as a gesture and flew away into the sky. In the meanwhile, the gods, the Gandharvas, the Siddhas, and the Maharishis told Nagamata Surasa, who shone bright like the sun, wear a formidable form like a mountain to test Hanuman's courage and strength. Let us test whether Hanuman becomes victorious or falls into despair. Hearing them, Surasa Devi stood in the middle of the sea in the form of a demon. Her appearance was scary and ugly. She intercepted Hanuman crossing the sea. Surasa Devi told Hanuman, I will devour you. Enter my mouth. When Surasa said this to Hanuman, he assumed the size of the thumb and entered her mouth and then stomach and came out of her ear. He told Surasa, I entered your mouth as you told me. Now I am going for Vaidehi. He bowed to her and went to complete the task in hand. He understood that Surasa Devi was sent to test him. In the course of Hanuman's flight, he encountered Simhika, Manas, or heart, or seat of emotions, the Rakshasi who hid in the ocean and caught Hanuman. He shrunk his body and went in through her mouth and came out of her, ripping her genitals. Came out of her genitals by ripping her genitals, conquering the Gnanendriyas, sensory organs, and karmendriyas, action organs. With his sharp nails, the Rakshasi fell into the water, fell into the water and died. Hanuman's vulnerability, his strength was tested in the form of Simhika. Hanuman put to naught and emerged successful by retaining the mental strength and fortitude. The beings in the sky watched Simhika's death and were happy. They told Hanuman, Yasyatvetani chatvari vanarendra yadhathava dhrutirdushtik matirdaksham sakarmasu nasidati. The great Vanara, oh, the great Vanara, you will never for fall for certain because you have the courage, wisdom, foresight, and ingenuity. While flying, Anjaneya saw the city of Lanka adorned with various trees in the north and in the south with Malaya Parvata and its gardens. The spiritual Hanuman controlled his mind and took on a minuscule form and crossed the insuperable ocean. He then sat on the Trikutam, Trikutam summit and observed Lanka's beauty. Yojananam shatam srimam sarvatra योजनानां शतं श्रीमां स्थिरत्वा उत्तमविक्रमः उत्तमविक्रमः अनिश्वसन् कपिस्तत्र न ग्लानिमधिगच्छति. The greatest warrior Hanuman crossed the ocean of 100 yojanas. Not a single moment did he rest and did not experience any fatigue. Such was his commitment. Shatanyaham yojananam krameyam subahunyapi kim punasagarasyantam sankhyatam shatayojanam. Hanuman told himself, I can cross many oceans with hundreds of yojanas. Crossing the ocean of hundreds of yojanas is something I can do easily. Anjaneya thought about the ocean, the big palaces, and the enemy like Ravana in Lanka. Chaturnamev hi gatirvanaraणां tarasvinam Valiputrasya Neelasya Mama Ragnascha Dhimatah. Only 4 Varanas who are swift, they can cross the ocean. They are Angada, son of Vali, Neelu, myself, that means Hanuman, and Sugriva, my king, can reach here. Now I should plan to meet Mother Sita without drawing the attention of Ravana. Bhutaschardha vinashyanti deshakala virodhitaah viklavam dutamasadya tamas suryodaye yadha. An imprudent envoy's acts are like darkness and lead to extreme consequences for a country. An imprudent envoy, he likes darkness and lead to extreme consequences for a country. Only sunrise drives away the darkness. Ardhantare buddhir nishchitapi na sobhate ghatayanteh hakaryani dutaah panditamaninaha. The king and the ministers should not entrust important tasks to an unwise envoy. It will prevent the task accomplishment. The envoy should not consider his own self as wise. Care should be taken to not let the effort be wasted, thought Hanuman. Tadaham svena rupena rajanyam hraspatangatah lankam abhipatishyami raghavasyaddha siddhaye. After sunset, Hanuman, the son of wind god, shrunk himself to become small. Lanka Devi, the mistress of the city, manifested in her natural form. She looked at Hanuman and roared fiercely before striking Hanuman hard. Hanuman was furious. He clenched his left fist and hit her harder. Stri cheti manyamanen nati krodha swayam krutah सातु तेन प्रहारेण विह्वलांगे निशाचरी पपात सहसा भूमौ विकृतानन दर्शना. Hanuman contained his anger out of consideration for Lanka Devi as a woman. With his blow, all her limbs became paralyzed. She immediately fell to the ground and her face turned ugly. Sanijitya purim lankam sreshtam tam kamarupinim vikramena mahateja Hanuman kapisattamah advarena mahavirya prakarameva pupluve निशिलंकाम महासत्वो विवेश कपिकुंजरः. Subsequently, the monster Lanka Devi could wear any form at her will, but before she could, Hanuman defeated her with his dexterity. Subsequently, Hanuman the Maha Tejasvi, Maha Balachali, Maha Satyasali, Vanara Shiromani and Kapi Sreshta chose not to use the gate meant for night movement. Instead, he jumped over the wall and entered the city of Lanka. Susrava Japatam Tatra Mantran Raksho Guheshu Vai Swadhyaya Nirataschaiva Yatu Dhanan Dadarshana. He heard the chanting of mantras from the houses of Rakshasas. Many Rakshasas were also involved in their self-study. Hanuman inspected the Rakshasas' dwellings, the dwellings of Rakshasas. Then he entered the palace of Ravana. He saw some Rakshasas women fully adorned with jewelry. Some of them rested their heads on beautiful cloths. Some of them were abducted by Ravana. Some of them came by volition to Ravana out of their longing for him. With all of them around him, Ravana was sleeping in a goshala. Kamam drushtamaya sarva vispestra Ravanastriyah natu me manasa kinchit vaikruchya mupapajyate. On seeing them, Hanuman thought to himself, these ladies of Ravana sleep without any hesitation. There is no doubt about this. My mind remains undisturbed at the sight of them. Mano hi hetu sarvesham Indriyanam pravartante subha subha swavastasu tachyame suvyavastatam. The mind stimulates all the senses, whether good or bad. The mind is the root cause of everything. My mind is firm since it is not conditioned by attachment or hatred. In that state of mind, Hanuman was eager to see Sitama. He frantically searched all the houses, but Sita was not seen. Anirvedaha Sriyo Moolamaniर्वेदः परं सुखम् भूयस्तत्र विचेष्यामि न यत्र विचयः कृतः. Hanuman was a little disappointed, but he thought enthusiasm is the root cause of wealth and is the reason for happiness. So, with enthusiasm, I will search for Sitama in places that I did not see before. अनिर्वेदो हि सततं सर्वार्थेषु प्रवर्तकः करोति सफलं जन्तोः कर्म यच्च करोति सः. Enthusiasm is what binds living beings to all their deeds and makes them successful in their work. तस्मात् अनिर्वेदकरह्यत्नं चेष्टे हमुत्तमम् अदृष्टांश्च विचेष्यामि देशान् रावणपालितान्. So I will make more enthusiastic efforts. I will look for places that are hidden and secured by Ravana. यावत् सीतां न पश्यामि रामपत्नीं यशस्विनीं तावदेतां पुरीं लङ्कां विचिनोमि पुनः पुनः. Until I find the great Sita, I will search this whole Lanka, thought the determined Hanuman. Mahatejasvi Hanuman contemplated for a while and meditated on Sitama. He jumped over Ravana's palace wall and entered the Asoka Vatika garden. There he found a beautiful lady surrounded by Rakshasa women. She was frail due to continuous fasting. He was convinced that she must be Sitama. He hid among the dense leaves of a tree and observed them. In the meanwhile, Ravanasura came there. He spoke to Sita. I wish you well, O beautiful lady. Treat me with a special reverence. Please accept my prayer. I will not touch you until you have asked me to do. Tvang krutvo parato manye rupakarta savisvakrut nahi iropasamahyanya tavasti subhadarshane. I think Subhadarshana Brahma, the creator, is tired after creating you because he could not create another woman as beautiful as you. You will experience Kubera's finest gems, wealth, and all the worlds if you live with me. Dukharta rudati Sita vepamana tapasvini Chintayanti vararoha patimeva pativrata. The beautiful limbed Sitama, a devout wife and an ascetic, was overtaken by sorrow and wept. She trembled with fear. She brooded over her husband, whom she considered her God. The chaste Vaidehi put a blade of grass between her and Ravana. A woman does not speak directly with a stranger. If nothing is available, she should at least place a blade of grass in between and then speak to the stranger. She told Ravana, "You remove me from your thoughts. Love your own woman. Namam prardhayitum yuktasvam siddhimiva papakrut akaryam maya karyamekapatyani garhitam." The one who commits sins will not attain siddhi. You are sinful, and it is impossible for you, Ravana, to have me. I will never do anything against my dharma as an earnest wife. Iha santo na vasanti sato va nanuvartasi yadha hi viparita te buddhirachara vajjita. Are not there good men here? Or are you not following them? This is it, that your mind has turned into an extreme virtuous void. Akrutatmanamasadya rajanamanaye ratam samruddhani vinasyanti rashtrani nagarani cha. A contaminated mind cannot comprehend goodness. Great and prosperous kingdoms and the cities that fell into the hands of such unjust kings are destroyed. Even Lanka, with its with its even Lanka, with its heap of gems and wealth, is destroyed by a mean person like you. It will be ruined. Shakya lobhayitum naham aishwaryamena dhanena va ananya raghavenaham bhaskarena yadha prabha. Light is not separate from sun, and similarly, I am inseparable from Sri Rama. You can lure me neither with wealth nor greed. As Veda Vidya Gnan or the highest learning belongs to the self-realized, so do I belong to Sri Rama. Vidita sarva dharmagna saranagata vatsalah tena maitri bhavatu yadi jivitum ichhasi. Sri Ramachandra is omniscient of all virtues and does not refuse asylum to the seekers. You must be friendly with Rama, Sri Rama, if you wish to live. Take refuge in Sri Rama. Impress him with a pure heart. Send me back to him for your own good, lest you perish. Vamakamo manushyanam yasmin kila nibajyate jane tasmin stvanu krosah snehascha kila jayate. Lust in a human being corrupts him and binds him to desire. Love, on the other hand, gives rise to compassion and friendship in man. Ravana said to Sitama, I am not angry even though you reject me. That is why I will not leave you. I give you 2 months' time. I will not spare you beyond this period. I will cut you into pieces. The demons The goddesses and others present there looked at her. They reassured her through their expressions. Ravana, if you are truly brave, how could you deceive and abduct me? Sita told, you are a cheat. On hearing this, Ravana was enraged. The Rakshasa women were also annoyed with her. They told her to live in the palace of Ravana. Sitama, with tearful eyes and pain in them, said to Rakshasa woman, न मानुषी राक्षसस्य भार्या भवितुमर्हति कामं खादत मां सर्वा न करिष्यामि वोचः. A woman cannot be wife to a monster. Even if you devour me, what you say is unacceptable to me. दीनो वा राज्यहीनो वा यो मे भर्ता समे गुरुः तम नित्यमनुरक्तास्मि यथा सूर्यं सुवर्चला. Even if my husband is helpless and has no kingdom, he remains my Lord. He is my Guru. Just as Suvarchala is attached to sun, I have always been steadfast to him and will remain so. Yadha sechi महाभागा चक्रं समुत्पतिष्ठति अरुन्धति वसिष्ठं च रोहिणी शशिनं यथा लोपामुद्रा यधस्त अंगस्थं लोपामुद्रा यदस्त अगस्त्यं सुकन्याच्येवचनं सुकन्याच्यवनं यथा सावित्री सत्यवन्तं च कपिलं श्रीमते यथा सौदासं मदयन्तेव केसिनी सगरं यथा नैषदन्दमयन्तेव भैमीपतिमनुव्रता तदाहमि इक्ष्वाकुवरं रामं पते मनुव्रता. The most fortunate Sachi Devi is engaged in the service of Indra, Arundhati in the service of Vasishtha Maharshi, Rohini in the service of Chandra, Lopamudra in the service of Agastya, Sukanya is in the service of Chavan, Savitri in the service of Satyavan, Keshini in the service of Sagara, and Bhima Kumari Damayanti engaged in the service of Nishadha King Nala. Similarly, I am engaged in the service of great Sri Rama, who is the most honorable one from the Ikshvaku dynasty. Sitting among the branches in the trees, Anjaneya saw the Rakshasis growling at Sitama. She breathed heavily, sighed, S-I-G-H-E-D, sighed, sadness, and cried. Ha Rameti cha dukharthaha punar lakshmaneti cha ha swesur mama kausalye ha sumitreti bhamini. Rama, Lakshmana, mothers Kausalya and Sumitra, reaching them, Sita cried incessantly. Sarvata tena hinaya ramena viditatmana तीक्ष्णं रसमिवास्वाद्य दुर्लभं मम जीवनम. Sri Rama is Atmagnani. I can't live without Sri Rama. Life without him is as miserable as the life consumed by poison. कीदृशं तु महापापं मया देहान्तरे कृतं तनेदं प्राप्यते घोरं महादुःखं सुदारुणम्. I would have committed a great sin in my previous birth, and as a consequence I now face immeasurable misery. अधन्मात्तु महात्पातो भविष्यति हि साम्प्रतं नैतधर्मं विजानन्ति राक्षसाः पिशितासनाः. The consequence of adharma will soon ensure. The carnivorous demons know nothing of dharma and what is likely to befall them. What is likely to befall them. Dhanya devaah sagandharvaah siddhascha paramartayah yama pasyanti ye viram ramam rajivalocanam. My husband Lord Rama is Veera Shiromani, lotus-eyed, and a great man. Blessed are the gods, Siddhas, and Maha Rishis who can see my husband. Danya kalu mahatmano munayah satya sammataah जितात्मानो महाभागा येषां नस्त्वः प्रिया प्रिये. Blessed are the sages who measure with the Paramatman. The blessed sages are not conditioned by the dualities of Priyam Apriyam, by the dualities of Priyam and Apriyam, pleasant or unpleasant. They control their mind and let their intuition guide them. Such Maharishis are very fortunate. Priyanna sambhavet dukkham apriyadadikam bhavet tabhyam hite viyujyante namastesham mahatmanam. Salutations to those great souls who remain unaffected even when separated from their beloved or when encountered by unpleasantness. Unpleasantness means apriyam. The oldest amongst Rakshasa women, Trijata, who understood the plight of Sita, was frightened by those around who was frightened by those around her, and the Trijata said, Tat kruro tadakruro vakyaischa sthantvam bhidiyatam abhiyachanu vaidehi me tadhi mamarochate. Do not speak harshly to Sita, because what you say is of no use. Speak gently to her. We should ask for Sita's grace and seek forgiveness from her. On seeing Sita, who was sad, Hanuman thought, Asatyani cha yuddhani संशयो मे न रोचते कश्च निस्संशयः कार्यं कुर्यात् प्राज्ञः स संशयम्. War leads to uncertainty. It is difficult to say who will win the battle. Who will win that battle? It is not appropriate to work with hesitation. No wise man would ever do such a thing. अर्धानर्धान्तरे बुद्धिर्निश्चितापि न शोभते घातयन्ति हि कार्याणि माताः पंडितमानिनः. An unwise envoy brings disgrace even if the master is well meaning, has a purpose and focused on duty. Being overconfident about his own wisdom, an envoy brings upon misfortune for himself and his master. Hanuman thought that the work in hand should be done well. He should be fully alert. His effort in crossing the ocean should not go in vain. He sat there contemplating on the attributes of Ikshvakukula Bhushana, the enlightened Sri Ramachandra. He began to sing Sri Ramachandra, only audible to Sita. With her hair open, she turned her beautiful face towards the tree. Sitama was ecstatic to see Hanuman as he sang about her husband. She took some time to become normal and thought, Namostu vachaspataye savajrine swayambhuve chaiva hutashanaya anena choktam yajidam mamagrato vanaukasa kasataccha tadhastu nanyadha. My salutations to the Lord of Wisdom, Brihaspati, diamond weapon adorned Indra, Swayambhu, the self-proclaimed Brahma, and the Lord of the Fire, Agni, speech. May what I hear from this Vanara be the truth and not otherwise. She was enjoyed as Hanuman narrated about Sitama, about Sri Rama. As Hanuman narrated about Sri Rama, she told him, Sri Rama is very fond of his father, Dasharatha. Tadyanna pratigruhniyat satyam bruyat nacha anrutam api jivita hetorhi Rama satya parakramaha. Satya parakrama sila. Sri Rama is a giver, not a taker. He always speaks truth. He does not lie to save himself from a situation. I was deceived and picked up by the evil Ravana. He gave me 2 months' time. I will give up my life as soon as the deadline passes. Hanuman consoled her and said, I am the messenger of Sri Rama. He sent me here. Sri Rama is safe. He laments your absence, calling, Sita, Sita. Your extraordinary brother-in-law, Lakshmana, offered you salutations. On hearing this, Sitamma joyfully said, Kalyani batagadheyam laukike pratibhatima yeti jivantamanando naram varshachatadapi. For one who lives with humanity, he will experience happiness even after 100 years. In my case, it seems to be the ultimate truth and seems auspicious. Hanuman, the son of Pavana, that means the son of air god, gave Sri Rama's finger ring unto Sitama, and reassured her, Mother, have courage, you will overcome grief soon. Sita looked intensely at the ring. She was elated as it reminded her husband. She looked at Hanuman affectionately and said, Hanuman, I think of you as an extraordinary person. I am glad to hear about the well-being of Sri Ramachandra, the son of Kausalya, and Lakshmana, the son of Sumitra Devi. Hanuman said, Mother, as soon as I leave, Lord Rama will defeat the vast army of Ravana. Sri Rama will kill him and bring you back. न मांसं राघवो भङ्क्तेन चैव मधुसेवते वन्यं सुविहितं नित्यं भक्तमस्नाति पंचमम्. Raghuvanshi, the members of Raghu clan, never eat meat. Lord Rama does not even touch such food. They fast and dwell in the presence of God. The true abode of man is Kutastha, the place between eyebrows. They eat fruits and vegetables that are permitted by the scriptures because eating meat is forbidden. After their fast, they eat fruits and roots. Hanuman told Sita, Mother, Sri Rama always calls you Sita, hey Sita, in agony. Weighed down by sorrow, Sita said, ऐश्वर्ये वा सुविस्तीर्णे व्यसने वा सुदारुणे रज्येव पुरुषं बद्ध्वा कृतान्तः परिकर्षति. Kala, the Lord of Time, drags with his rope, whether in great fortune or in the midst of great catastrophe. Nobody can reverse the divine decision. You can take Lakshmana, Sri Rama, and me as an illustration. उत्साह पौरुषं सत्त्वमान् रुषंस्यं कृतज्ञता विक्रमश्च प्रभावश्च संति वानर राघवे. Hanuman, Sri Ramachandra, hey Hanuman, oh Hanuman, Sri Ramachandra is the embodiment of enthusiasm, masculinity, strength, kindness, gratitude, prowess, influence, etc. As Sita spoke, tears rolled down from her eyes. Hanuman then told her mother, have courage. Lord Rama will come with the great Vanara army and take you away. Or I can take you now on my shoulders. Hanuman then jumped to the ground from the tree. To give confidence to Sita, he grew his body to the size of a mountain. He became radiance personified. Sita told Hanuman, Son, my coming with you will bring disrepute to Sri Rama. It will defame Sri Ramachandra for what he did not do. Bharturbhaktim puraskrucya Ramodanyasya vanaraha Naham sprastrum Svatogatra micheyam vanarottama. Oh Vanara, I cannot touch anybody other than my husband. Therefore, I will not touch you. Hanuman was overjoyed on hearing this. Hanuman told Sitamma, Mother, what you said is acceptable in every aspect. But give a souvenir for Sri Rama. Sitamma then pulled out the Chudamani, a jewel worn in the hair. Madvishishtascha तुलाश्च सन्ति तत्र वनौकसः मत्तः प्रत्यवरः कश्चिन्नास्ति सुग्रीव सन्निधौ. Mother, there are many people in Sugriva's army who are valiant, There is no one less valiant than me. All are great heroes. Beyond doubt, the Vanara warriors can come here as I did. Sri Rama will definitely destroy Ravana and his army. He will take you back to Ayodhya. There is no uncertainty at all. Sita said, in the past, Sri Rama damaged one eye of crow out of anger. Please remind Sri Rama about this. Hanuman jumped to another place and began thinking. अल्पशेषमिदं कार्यं दृष्टेयमसिते क्षणा त्रीनुसायानतिक्रम्य चतुर्थ दृश्यते. Now I have seen Sitama. All that remains is to estimate the strength of the enemy. There are four methods, namely Sama, Dana, Bheda and Dandam. I will give up the first three, that is Sama, Dana and Bheda. I will resort to the fourth one, that is Dandam. I think it is suitable in this context. कार्ये कर्मणि निर्वृत्तये कार्ये कर्मणि निवृत्तये बहून्यपि साधयेत् पूर्वे कार्यानिरोधेन सकार्यं कर्तुमर्हति. He who not only completes on the task in hand but also takes up related tasks additionally without affecting the primary task is an executor. Sahi ekas sadhako hetuh swalpasyapi hi karmanah yo hyardham bahuda veda samardhodha sadhane. There is no single method to accomplish even the smallest of tasks. He who knows the art of accomplishing any task of fulfillment of purpose in multiple ways will excel at execution. Here is an opportunity to estimate the strength of the enemy. Doing this is executing Sugriva's orders completely. Hanuman began to uproot the trees. He did not leave any tree untouched in Ashokavana except the place where Sita was. The Rakshasa woman went and told Ravana regarding this destruction. Ravana became extremely angry. He sent Kinkara Rakshasas to capture Hanuman. The demons were incensed to see Hanuman standing on the gate of Pramadavan. On the gate of Pramadavan, they all rushed toward Hanuman with great speed. Hanuman angrily struck his tail hard on the ground and began to roar loudly. He said in a loud voice, Jayachyadi balo Ramo Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jayati Sugrivo Raghavena Abhipalitaha Dasoham Kosalendrasya Ramasya Klishtakarmanaha Hanuman Shetru Sainyanam Nihantam Marutatmajaha Na Ravanam Sahasram Me Yuddhe Pratipalam Bhavet Silabhistu Padapaishcha Sahasrataha अर्धयित्वा पुरीं लङ्काम् अभिवाज्यत मैथिलीं समृद्धार्धो गमिष्यामि मिषतां सर्वरक्षसाम्. Victory to the mighty Sri Ramachandra and the strong Lakshmana. Victory to Sugriva Maharaj, who is protected by Sri Rama. I am a servant of the great warrior Sri Rama. I am a slave of Sri Rama. My name is Hanuman. I am the son of Vayu Deva, the god of my wind. I am capable of destroying the enemy Rama. Ravana is not my equal in battle. I will finish my task within Sita's view. Salutations to mother. Then Hanuman killed all the Kinkara Rakshasas. Hearing this, Ravana sent the most valiant Jambumali, son of Prahasta. Hanuman hit him hard on the chest. Crying in agony, Jambumali fell to the ground. After Jambumali, Ravana's ministers, 7 sons, came quickly to attack Hanuman. Hanuman killed all of them. They were equal to Ravana in valor. On hearing the news, Ravana was frightened. Gathering himself, Ravana sent 5 of his army commanders, Virupaksha, Yupaksha, Durdhara, Praghana and Bhanukarna to fight Hanuman. Hanuman killed them instantaneously and began to attack their armies. On hearing the news that Hanuman killed his army commanders along with their respective battalions, Ravana was frightened and extremely furious. He sent his son Akshaya Kumara, who was a ferocious warrior. Hanuman swirled him and hit him against the floor, thereby killing him instantaneously. Ravana was terrified and sent his other son Indrajit. He was a fierce warrior and an expert in Astra Shastra. Indrajit understood that Hanuman will not yield to any Astra and Shastra. He used the most prestigious Brahmastra to bind Hanuman. Hanuman respected the Brahmastra and gave in into it. After capturing him, Indrajit took him to the Raja Sabha of the court. Hanuman said to the 10-headed Ravana, Tadbhavan rushtadharmardhastavah Tadbhavan rushtadharmardhastapah Kuta parigraha Paradharan Mahapragna No paradhum tvamarkhasi. You understand the nature of virtue. You performed the great penance. It is not appropriate to cheat women. Nahi dhamma viruddheshu bhakva payeshu karmasu मूलघातिषु सज्जन्ते बुद्धिमन्तो bhavedvidah. Immoral acts are meaningless. They turn the righteous into wicked and destroy them. So wise men like you should not take part in these acts. So follow dharma. Such acts are to be followed in all the 3 worlds, levels of grass, and all the 3 worlds of grass, subtle and causal bodies. Trust me and respectfully send Sitama back to her husband Sri Rama. Natu dharmopasamharam dharma palasamhitam tadeva manveti dharmascha dharmanasana. When one is bound by adharma, the fruit of unrighteous will be misfortune. For the one who practices righteousness, inquiry, iniquity perishes first. Praptam dharma phalam tavad bhavata natra sansayah phalamapyasya dharmasya kshiprameva pravasyase. So far you experienced the fruit of your past karma. You will soon experience the karma of Sita Apaharana or abducting of Sita. Kamam kalvaha mashyekah sahajarada kunjaram lankam nasayatim shakten shaktasthashaiva tu nishchayah Lankam nasayatum shaktasthashaitu tasyaishatu nishchayah. I can destroy the Lanka city, elephants, horses, and chariots single-handedly. But Sri Rama did not give me such order. Apakurvan hi Ramasya sakshadapi purandaraha na sukham prapnu yadanyak kim punastadvidho janaha. Even Indra could not get happiness by doing injustice to Sri Rama. What about sinners like you? Do not push your friends, ministers, family, brothers, sons, well-wishers, women, luxuries, and all of Lankapuram to the verge of death. To the verge of death. Satyam Rakshasa Rajendra Srunushva Vachanam Mama Ramadasasya Dutasya Vanarasya Visheshatah. Rajadi Raja, Lord of Demons, I am the slave, the messenger of Sri Rama, and a Vanara. Listen to the truth. Sarvan Lokan Susamhrutya Sabhutan Sacharacharan Punariva Tadha Srastum Sekto Ramo Mahayasha. Mahayashasvi Sri Ramachandra can destroy these worlds made of all beings and non-living beings. All living beings and non-living beings. He can also create them. Sri Rama is the most powerful Lord of these worlds, the lion among the kings of is Lord of these worlds. Sri Rama is the Lord of these worlds. He is the lion among the kings. It is Sri Rama. To hold his wife captive is the worst form of crime. An evil person like you will be destroyed. Devascha daityascha nichacharendra gandharva vidyadhara nagayukta ramasya lokatrayasya nayakasya sthatum nasaktaha samareshu sarve. O Nishada Raja, king of demons, Lord Rama is the Lord of the worlds. Gods, Gandharvas, demons, scholars, Nagas, Yakshas, and various together cannot win the battle against Rama. Ravana was infuriated as he heard Hanuman praising his enemy Rama. Ravana ordered his soldiers to slay the monkey. Ravana's younger brother and a minister, wise minister, Vibhishana, was present there. He did not approve of Ravana's order. He said, Hanuman is the emissary of Sri Ram. He serves Sri Ram. Kshamasva rosham chajaraje rakshasendra प्रसीद मे वाक्यमिदं शृणुष्व वधं न कुर्वन्ति वरावरज्ञा दूतस्य संतो वसुधादिवेन्द्र. Lord of demons, forgive and let go of anger. Do not overdo it. Trust my words. Great kings who understand good and evil do not kill the enemy. राजन् धर्म विरुद्धं च लोकवृत्तेश्च गर्हितं तव च सदृशं वीर कपीरस्य प्रमापणम्. Valiant Maharaja, it is against dharma to kill this Vanara. It will bring dishonor to you. This does not benefit a hero like you. Gruhyante yadi roshena twadrusopi vichakshanaah tatas shastra vipaschitvam shramayeva hi kevalam. This is not apt for a scholar like you. You should not yield to anger. Your mastery over the Shastras is futile, will become futile. So think carefully and impose punishment accordingly. Kathancha dharmartha parapara prechaya nishchitartha bhavadvidah kopavase hitishtet kopam na gachanti satyavantah. You have been trained to discriminate between dharma and adharma, the virtues. Use your discretion and decide. A virtuous man like you should not give in into rage or anger. The virtuous do not make decisions in a fit of anger. Mahatma Vibhishana spoke to suit the context and yet sounded pleasant. When Ravana heard him, he said, Vibhishana, what you spoke is truth. The messenger must not be slain, but he must be given severe punishment. The tail is the most beloved part of the monkeys and adorns them. So let the tail, so set the tail on fire. On hearing Ravana, the Rakshasas shouted, he must go back with a burning tail. They rolled cotton around his tail, poured oil, and then set it on fire. Hanuman's face turned red like the sun with anger and fury. He smashed the demons with his burning tail. Sita was saddened to hear about this cruel act and immediately prayed to the god of fire. Mangalabhimukhe tasya satadasin mahankape upataste vishalakshi prayata havyavahanam. Then Sita invoked the god of fire with a pure heart, seeking the well-being of Hanuman. Agnideva, if I were faithful and did selfless service to my husband Sri Ram, he will cool Hanuman's tail and keep him safe. Hanuman thought, strangely the fire is around me, but I am not harmed. Sitayascha nusansyena tejasa raghavasya cha pituscha mama sakhyena namandahati pavakaha. The god of fire did not burn me. It is certainly due to the grace of Sitamma, Sri Rama and my father Vayudeva. With the burning tail, he climbed onto the buildings in Sri Lanka. Varjayitva mahateja vibhishana gruham priti Kramamana kramenaiva dadaha haripungavaha. Then Anjaneya, the great sage, set fire to all the other buildings except for the house of Vibhishana. After he torched the city of Lanka, Hanuman dipped his burning tail in the sea water to cool down. Then it occurred to him and he repented, Alas, how foolish I was to set fire to Lanka without thinking of Mother Sita's safety. Dhanya kalu mahatmano, Dhanya kalu mahatmano, ye buddhya kopamudhitam, nirundhanti mahatmano deeptamagnimi mirvambhasa. Great people control their anger guided by their intellect as water extinguishes the fire. Such people are blessed in this world. Kruddha papam na kuryat kaha kruddho hanyat gurunapi kruddha parushaya vacha narasadhu na dikshipet. Anger drives one to sin. Such an angry person will not hesitate to kill even his teacher. An angry person insults even saints. Vacyam prekupito na vijanati karhichit na karyamasti kruddhasya na vacyam vijyate kvachit. In anger, one loses reason. One cannot discriminate between what is to be spoken and what is not to be spoken. Anger drives one to do evil. An angry person earns a bad reputation. Yaha samutpatitam krodham kshayayaiva nirasyati yadho ragastvancha jinan savai purusha uchyate. He who gives up anger born in his heart is noble. He must let go of his anger as the snake sheds its skin. Digastu rajasam bhavamanisavanavastitam Ishvarenapi yadharaganmaya sitana rakshita. The Rajobhava does not facilitate action. I hold contempt for it. Due to the anger arising out of Rajoguna, I could not save Sitamma. Hanuman was delighted to see Mother Sita sitting in Asokavanam unhurt. He told her, Mother, be patient, wait for the right time. Ravana will soon be slain by Sri Rama in the battle. He bowed at the feet of Sita and left. Hanuman then travelled to south and then to north. He climbed Mount Aristagiri, the highest of the mountains. He jumped from Aristagiri to the Mahendra Parvata. The noble Vanaras surrounded him. Jambavanta and Angada and the others inquired about Sitamma's welfare. Hanuman told them, Mother is safe under the supervision of the demons at Asokavanam in Lanka and is waiting the arrival of Sri Rama. Sa niyuktastat tatastena samprahrushtatanurha namasyankarasa devyai Sitayai Prachabhashata. Hanuman had goosebumps over his body. In his mind he bowed to Mother Sita. He narrated the whole story about her and said, Raghavasya prasadena bhavatam chaiva tejasa sugrivasya chakaryardham maya sarvam anushtitam. With the grace of Sri Rama and with the best wishes and affection of all of you, I could accomplish the task ordained by my king Sugriva. Now it is turn to complete the work. Angada, accompanied by others, took the help of Hanuman and flew away. They roared as they approached Kishkinda. They roared as they approached Kishkinda. Later they landed near Sugriva and Sri Ram. Hanumansya Mahabahu Pranamya Sirasa Tataha Niyatam Devim Raghavayanya Vedayatu. Mahabahu, the mighty Anjaneya, placed his head at the feet of Sri Rama and bowed to him. Hanuman said, I visited Mother Sita and she is safe, living down my self-imposed austerity. He explained how he met Mother Sita. Sri Rama, I crossed the sea of 100 yojanas distance and reached Lanka, which is located in the south. I saw the demons Ravana, she abode there. I saw the demon Ravana's abode there. I found Mother Sita there, wailing amidst Rakshasa women. Full of love for you, Sitama is living the most tragic and miserable life, lamenting, Sri Rama, Sri Rama. She wanted me to remind you of the story of the crow in the Chitrakoot. She told me to tell you about her predicament. She also told me that she will be alive only for a month. Thereafter, she would give up her life. He gave Sita's Chudamani jewel as a token of remembrance to Sri Rama. On seeing Chudamani, Sri Rama cried uncontrollably. Lakshmana also wept. Chudamani emerged from water and is worshipped by gods. Indra gave it to King Janaka and he gave it to Sita. She wore it on her hair. Sundarakanda Samaptam. That is the end of Sundarakanda.